The Dub Variety Hour featuring Thomas and Damien. Enjoy the show.
And welcome back. It's been a while since we recorded. We were kind of just pushing out a gazillion and a half pre-records, but we have reunited once again.
Hello, hello, hello.
Guess who that is?
Hello, this is Jim Bob Johns.
Welcome back, Jim Bob Johns.
Oh, hello. Don't forget, drink the Kool-Aid. Yeah, we said this last time, which was people don't realize when you like shoot a movie or a TV show, or even in this case, like if you're doing any recording of what kind, people don't know how long it's been.
Yeah.
You know, it could be like, we shot it yesterday, recorded yesterday, but it really has been like almost 2 months, if not 2 months, since we recorded last.
It's funny that you say that because I was listening to the last podcast I chopped up, and as I'm listening to it, there's so many like little things that kind of it's like, oh wow, that was recorded back in like June. So you hear like little gems like, oh well, that happened back in a month ago, and there's little time codes that we naturally put in with our conversation. So
one of the references I think from the most recent episode, I think we said like Wakanda. This is when what's his name? He didn't even die yet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how long it's been. Just as a point of reference. I hate to bring him up as a reference of how long it's been, but
I was thinking that too. It's like we need to take 5 minutes for in memoriam for all the motherfuckers we've lost. We've lost fucking Sean Connery. We lost
Wakanda
Chadwick
guy, yeah.
Wakanda guy. Chadwick Boseman, all right?
Chadwick Boseman. We've lost, there was a theater person. Tay, who's that theater person?
What are you talking about?
Who just passed away, that lady?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, that lady passed away, and so my wife knows I am not a huge fan of Broadway.
Right.
I hate Broadway musicals to the most extent, but my wife is a big Broadway person, but I will say I worked recently with the dudes from the Ain't Too Proud, the Temptation show.
Okay.
On Broadway.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this a little bit.
Super nice guys. And
which, quick minor sidebar,
yeah.
this is one of the many references and reasons as to why we haven't done a fresh podcast. You've been busy, you've been working. We've been busy in another aspect, just like trying to make movies and stuff, and kind of put the podcast on the back burner.
Yep.
Mostly with the encouragement factor because we had so many pre-recorded, but I digress. Do continue.
No, for sure. No, I just, not to boast or gloat or whatever. Basically, it's just because
you guys I've been working.
Yeah, no. More so, I just wanted to give a shout out to all those union workers and all the those actors and all the crew members and all that stuff, because they were supposed to start back in January, and I think got pushed again to like May.
Oh shit!
Of next year. So everyone's out of work and on the sort of theater arts side. So
they took a beating because they bank on having people in an audience and having people close range and being on a stage in close range, reacting and being in people's faces. So
yeah, and I'm grateful for even though work is not as aggressive as it was pre-COVID, of course, but luckily I'm fortunate enough that work has come in here and there enough to get me by, but I know for them it's extremely tough. So anyone who is listening and is in that field and trying to figure things out, we feel you.
Yeah. Persevere.
Exactly.
Easier said than done, but hang in there and
hey, if you have time and if you're willing to want to come on and bullshit with us and kind of tell us where what you're doing to get by and just share anything you want, just shoot the shit. You know where to catch us. And where's that D-man?
At the Dub Feet Variety Hour in Brooklyn or in Queens.
Or as Detective Stewart likes to say,
I'm not sure where it is. It's Brooklyn or where are we? Jersey? So that was my impression of Detective Stewart, because we're eventually going to have him on for an episode, right?
Yes, and for those who don't know who Detective Stewart is, you are not a true fan of us.
Yes, you have not been following at all, and you have not been along for this crazy ride.
Well, so funny we bring him up because Detective Stewart is actually a good reason why we haven't really recorded a new podcast together for the last 2 months because we've been working on that little web series. And if you care to explain who Detective Stewart is to those who don't know.
Well, Detective Stewart is the guy that hired us, I guess, as his film crew, or partly as his film crew. But he's just a fucking idiot. Simply put, he is what he thinks is a detective, but he's not really a detective. I know you're more impartial to giving him the benefit of the doubt here, but I think he's a fucking moron. And you know, I probably will excuse myself from the interview once he eventually sits down with us and has a conversation. But yeah, I mean, he's striving to solve cases that don't exist or have already been solved. And he gets himself into crazy stuff. I think he needs help, but maybe we could talk that out and figure out what's his deal. So,
well, before I make this announcement, I will say that Detective Stewart is misunderstood in my eyes. But
okay, that's fair. Misunderstoodly stupid.
I mean,
sorry, no, yes,
that's very harsh. But you know, it's. I should have warned you before we started recording that we do actually have Detective Stewart here today.
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
He's
no,
actually.
Wait, you're serious? Because you didn't even tell me this.
Yeah, no, he's here, and he's actually been bothering the receptionist. So we're gonna just get him in. He thinks the receptionist has been stealing his candies.
No, I'm fucking done with this. Are you serious? You
no,
brought him on?
Damien, just seriously, hold on. Just you're not even gonna say hi, huh?
I'm taking my lunch break. Deuces.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back. Ow. Damn, these shoes really aren't comfortable.
Why is that, man?
I don't know. Let me check. Wow, it looks like the soles are just really giving out.
Oh, man, I hate when my shoe doesn't have a sole.
Did I hear that your shoes are uncomfortable to wear?
Where the fuck did you come from?
Well, don't worry about it. Here at Dr. Shill's, because if you know we say the other one, we're going to get sued. We check pressure right there. Give me your goddamn foot.
Wow, his foot isn't bleeding anymore. And it's twice the size as it was before. Is that good, though? This actually doesn't seem like a good thing.
This is great, and if you continue talking, I'm going to have to backhand your mouth. Your feet were once crow's, and you're going to have spinodifila. Now, with Pressure 1500 gel, your spine is half crooked.
Dr. Schultz is not affiliated with Dr. Schultz. Do you love horror movies?
You betcha.
Do you love gore?
God diddly do I do.
Well, come on down to the Gore Emporium, where you walk in fully and you leave with less limbs.
Whoa, where is it?
We chop them off, put them in a nice little bag, and leave you with a nice little bag of your own body parts.
That's great. Where is it?
We can't tell you, just show up. We'll give you an address on the day of.
That's great. Who do I call?
1-800-LIMBS-OFF.
Great. I'll be there.
You better be, because I need to quench this thirst to kill people.
You got a what?
Nothing. Have a great day.
And welcome back.
Hello.
Oh, wait.
Hello.
Detective Stewart, hold on.
Hello.
Wait, you don't have to tap the mic. You're totally
Tap,
fine.
tap,
No, don't stop tapping, please, dear
Tap.
God.
Sorry,
Okay, we're being told by the booth. Yes. Okay, good. Just talk really quick.
Talking.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay, that's good. Thank you. Okay. All right, welcome back.
Wait, do I have to wait for it to ring or something?
No, just wait for my cue. I will cue you in when you can start talking. Okay.
Cue like a list? Like I gotta
Yes.
wait to...
yeah,
am
sort
I
of
in
like
line?
I just really need to do the introduction. Hold on. Detective.
Okay.
Okay, welcome back, everyone.
Hey, welcome back.
Okay, there's no need for repeating. Okay, welcome back, everyone. We have a special guest here this afternoon. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Wait, where's the special guest? Who's that other guy that left? He didn't seem too happy that I was here.
We can discuss that off the air, but would you care to tell everyone who you are?
Whatever. You're the one who invited me on. You know who I am.
I do, but not the people who are listening.
Yeah, that's a good point, I guess. Well, I am. Hold on, let me do.
No, you really you don't have to tap the mic. I promise you are a-okay.
This seems different than the sound equipment my guys use. Wait, you are my guys.
Okay, no. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the introduction for you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Detective Stewart.
Okay, that's great. Can we get that one more time?
I said, hi, everybody. I'm Detective Stewart.
Hi, Detective Stewart. First and foremost, thank you very much for joining us today.
Well,
How's
thank you for letting me be here because, life has been crazy.
Yeah. So can you kind of tell everyone like what you do and just sort of give an introduction to you. Who's Detective Stewart?
Simply put, I kill pigeons. I time travel. I like long walks on the beach. I'm just a regular guy, but I solve crime.
Okay, so I wanted to talk about that because so we've seen a couple of your shows and we
Shows.
or episodes.
I'm not following.
Well, you have a film crew, right? What is that for?
It's for my docuseries.
Okay, docuseries. Sorry. So
Case solved.
right, can you tell us a little?
Patent pending.
That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about Case Solved, please? Patent pending, of course.
Case solved are cases that mean a lot to me. I put them into the world, and I solve them.
So
They're
what?
hard sometimes, though. Sometimes you can solve a case, and there are some times where you can't.
So what made you start doing this docuseries?
Well, as a young child, my father, he was abducted by a, sorry, this brings up a lot of emotion for me.
No, take your time. Let us. You just whenever you're ready.
A pigeon kidnapped my father. I mean, he said, or the letter that he left on the fridge said he went out for cigarettes and milk. But I think that was the pigeon that did it. So, I've been solving cases ever since. It's a very sad story, I'd say. Wouldn't you agree?
So can you tell us about your show? Like, how did you get the crew and what have you been doing so far? I mean, so the last few episodes have the last few cases, right? Have been quite interesting, and I would say they've gotten a little zanier as they've have kind of progressed.
Yes, I agree. They have gotten a lot more sane-ier over time.
So, like, what made you make the approach from case solving to like time travel? Like, what made you change it to a fantasy?
I mean, honestly, fantasy is reality, no? Life is what you make it.
Mm-hmm.
Life is a box of pre-detonated explosives that you must defuse before the end of the world.
So, are you a cop or a detective? Have you were a cop or a detective?
Yes.
You were. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your time in the force?
I wouldn't know.
Well, what do you mean you wouldn't know? I thought you were. Weren't you? What were you, a cop or a detective? I guess it's the same thing.
Long story short, I got through the police academy. 100 push-ups, that's all I had to do. I got my badge. I fought crime. I ranked up to detective. And then I was thrown out. 6 months. It's a long time.
If you don't, if you don't mind sharing, why'd you get kicked out?
Well, they said I couldn't solve cases. And the cases that I brought to their attention were outlandish, out of date, made no sense, and had no purpose. Their words, not mine. Every case has a purpose.
Interesting.
A piece of cheese missing from a sandwich deserves pursuance.
It's an interesting philosophy for solving cases, I must say.
Agreed. And that's why, after I left the police department, I reached out to Unsolved Mysteries. And they set me up with a film crew. And we tried to portray some stories that have been really near and dear to my heart.
Right. So I want to that's a great transition. So in the very first Unsolved Mysteries episode, you were trying to solve a case, a 23-year-old case or of some sort of a missing girl, and what have you, and from that episode, it seemed like the case was solved, but you didn't feel that it was solved. Can you care to explain?
Yes, I care to explain very much. It was a case that was solved, that was not solved. Exactly that. There was always some underlying information. Back to what I was saying about the cheese sandwich.
Yes. Okay. Go ahead.
Cheese is important to a sandwich. No matter how you put your bread, be the cheese the bread is the cheese, how you put it together.
I see.
It means something. So what may be a cheese sandwich to you may not be a bread cheese sandwich to me. And that's how cases are solved by me.
So the missing girl that was found, but you felt she wasn't found, is still a missing cheese to you. But even though she's a complete sandwich in Staten Island, from what we're learning.
I'm not following.
In other words, she's fine. She was never lost, and I think the producers of Unsolved Mysteries told you that. But you still feel that she's.
This is where it gets a little tricky, because that's when I decided that the termination was invalid, and I decided I'd go on my own. They tried to say the same things to me, so I decided to part ways. And that's when you guys came in and helped me out to produce my my docuseries, trying to solve crimes.
Right.
And live my life.
Absolutely. And so the follow-up to that ended up putting you in a restraining order with your tenant, I believe it was Tom. You accused him of stealing your packages, and then you threatened him with a gun. Was that correct?
The only thing I ever told Tom was thanks. But yes, all of that is true.
And so from there, you have a restraining order against him, which caused you to sort of lose your mind a little bit. And there was reports from the building that you live in of disturbances at night. You were screaming at birds. Is that correct?
The birds have been screaming at me.
I see.
I have a feeling that the birds are working with the landlords, though. Because every time I wake up in the morning, they're still perched on my terrace staring at me. I think they're working against me, though. Quite honestly.
Okay, so the pigeons are aside. You did commit murder. It seemed like...
Whoa. Those are some heavy allegations.
You killed a pigeon, but it ended up being a family member who was just wearing a mask that you told them to wear. Is that correct?
I don't recall.
Okay, moving forward. Moving on. So, for those or most who don't know, yes, this podcast broadcast.
Detective Stewart YouTube.
That's correct. We'll plug you at the end.
We'll
plug you. Okay, we can plug you now. Go ahead, Detective Stewart.
That's it. I'm done.
No, we didn't hear you because you went over what I was saying.
Detective Stewart. YouTube. Can you hear me now?
So right, so we got involved with Detective Stewart. We found them after watching the Unsolved Mystery episode, and we felt like you were a great person to follow. But in the very last episode, our crew members did mention some weird stuff had happened, and that was that you had time traveled. You
never time traveled before? It's easy.
Okay. Well, do you care to explain how that's possible?
Yeah, so first you have your image, then you grab a portal, you click on Ultra Key, you take out the green, you drop it down, you add a whoosh whoosh, and then you jump inside of it. That's it.
Well, that sounds like After Effects.
I mean, it's everybody's different, You might time travel differently than a super species of human time travels. So.
Well, I must say, Detective Stewart, you brought a lot of liability lawsuits to this podcast because you started a fight with flames at the park. Is that correct?
I do not recall.
You don't recall having a fist fight with...
I'll be honest with you. Sometimes when I'm walking down the street, I'm thinking about pigeons. And the next thing you know, it's nighttime, So
you have lapse of memory.
What does it have to do with my lap? Like a laptop?
No, like basically there's moments in your day where you just forget a lot of it. And it seems like you only remember the morning and night.
I mean, to you that may be laptops of memory, but I think that's time travel, no?
No, that's actually a medical issue that you should probably...
I think it's another version of time travel, I think we could agree to disagree here.
Oh, I don't think there's anything to agree or disagree. I just think it's something that we should probably get you checked out on. It's a concern.
I mean, I appreciate your concern, but like I said before, super species, these are things that make me stronger. I'm like a member of the X-Men, Marvel, DC, supervillain hero thingy, bob. That's me. I'm like the Thing.
From Fantastic Four.
No, like that movie from the 80s.
Fantastic Four.
I don't think I've seen that one.
But you just... So it was great having you. Is there anything else that you would like to?
Is that piece of shit still there?
Yes, he just give us once. We're almost done wrapping up here.
Was that a pigeon?
No, that was not a pigeon. That was actually my.
Pigeons are smarter than you think.
That was
Sometimes they enunciate. Okay.
So
Sorry. I'm glad that this podcast is in a closed room without windows because things like pigeons are scary.
Detective Stewart, what else?
Fucking kidding me? He's talking about the pigeons again. Just tell him to fucking leave.
Hold.
I'm sick of this shit.
We're literally almost done. I promise. Hold on, I got a few more questions.
What is that?
Well, we're gonna wrap up here. And Detective Stewart, before we let you go, is there anything you would like to share with us? Are there any future episodes that we should keep an eye on? Anything at all? Just please share.
I would say I'd like to issue an apology to my brother, Kedriniano. Sorry I shot you in the face, allegedly.
You did what?
Anyways, the other thing I was going to mention is look forward to new stories, After Effects. Wink.
Wait, but what happened to your brother?
I appreciate the time you've had on, and I think it's time for me to go.
Wait, you shot you when did this?
So but crime is important, and you should never be a statistic. You should try to fight the statistic. And we'll be right back.
No, you don't touch that button.
I can't believe you just let that fucking guy sit in my seat. Like, for real. How much time did we just burn?
We burned a few, but I will apologize. I should have let you know.
Told you he's a fucking moron.
He's interesting. I think he brings on good entertainment. He brings good TV.
Okay, if you say so. I'm just doing it for the paycheck.
Which has been nothing.
I think it's pretty much been voluntary thus far, but
we'll see where he goes.
I mean, he bought us Popeyes. Oh wait, no, I actually paid for it. Never mind, he didn't buy a shit. He made me get two 18 things of wings, and then he said I pay you back or whatever the fuck he sounds. Fuck that guy. Anyways,
that actually sounds really good though. Popeyes.
Sounds like diarrhea.
Oh yeah. So, okay, welcome back, everyone. So what has been going on in I guess what the hell has been going on? Well, we have an election going on. Not to get political.
Yeah,
that's been that. Just to give you guys a point of reference in case.
You know what? I'm gonna get political. Fuck that old white guy.
Yeah, which one?
Exactly. You know, the one that's teetering on senility and is pushing 80.
Again, which one?
I narrowed it down as far as I could.
Yeah, the one who has jaundice. What the fuck that's called? Say, what
jaundice?
Is that? Jaundice.
The yellowy. Oh my god! All I know is when I get to their ages,
yeah.
If my hair looks any way like that, just tell me. Their hair, both of them, their hair is just like. So I'll be honest. In the last month or so, I've been lazy at work. So not lazy in the essence of being at work and being lazy, but lazy in terms of my upkeep. I wear a mask so I could grow my beard as long as I want, and it's an excuse to not shave.
Right.
But I also kind of just let that sort of transcend to the top of my head, where my hair in the front is pretty receded. So I started doing this really bad, sort of comb over.
Oh no!
And at a certain length, it doesn't look terrible, but it doesn't look good in general. So, I feel like I as you can see, I'm freshly shaved, bald head again. But it reminded me, it's re-reminded me that it's just not a good look, and yeah, that's how these fuckers look. They look like they need to accept the baldness, shave their heads and then grow like a beard. Imagine how cool these guys would fucking look.
Not at all.
Yeah, they'd never
5 o'clock shadow testicle.
I don't think there's ways for these guys to look cool, but
not at all.
But
they purge. That's all I know. They're at when they did drawings of what a purge character should look like. It's exactly
that's
them. Yeah.
So back to our lapse of podcast for a minute. We could talk about all the stuff that we've been doing. I mean, pretty much. I know the last podcast I put out, we were talking about how I just had gotten a new camera, which for that was one of the things that dates how far back that was.
Wow.
Exactly.
Because you've had that camera 3 months now, maybe a
Yeah,
little
we got
more.
it early summer, I guess. Right?
Yeah, it had to be August, right?
No, I think even before that.
No,
I believe so. I'll pull
Well,
up
it's
the Mercari and confirm. Let me see.
because we shot the second episode of Detective Stewart on it. So whenever Detective Stewart,
And I mean, we didn't just shoot Detective Stewart. We shot a couple things on there, no?
that's true. The Devil and I, which we'll talk about. Yes, that's what we should talk
Which
about.
I did want to mention. We need to follow up on that because
Yeah, we'll talk about that now.
the last podcast that we put out was the birth of that idea, in the very same sort of sense of like a Kevin Smith podcast talk of a
Okay.
potential movie turn into a movie, and we tried to do that and it kind of didn't work out. Potential there. I think it's one of those like we need to throw it back in the writing room and bring it back, but we'll talk about that in a sec.
Okay.
Let me just confirm when we got this camera and we'll go from there. So I got this camera. I bought it in June.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yep. So I had this fucker since June.
Wow. So it's been 5 months.
Yep.
All right. Right on. So
I would say we took the time to make sure it got its use. So.
I think it's gotten plenty of use so
Oh, yeah.
far. So yeah. So let's talk about Devil and I. Let's explain what happened there. So from the last podcast, we discussed the sort of upcoming project that we were going to work on based off of an idea that we discussed during the podcast.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
And
pretty much we were toying with an idea since we had all the podcast equipment. I believe the podcast equipment predates well, obviously it predates the camera because we were talking about it on the camera. Durf. We were kind of just spitballing ideas, and then as we did it, just like Kevin Smith did, he's like, "Oh, this is a great idea," and we said, "All right, well, let's start fucking writing it." And it was pretty much just a horror movie related to a podcast guy who listens to some weird thing,
yeah.
and then he gets like either taunted or haunted or almost possessed by a demon. And then we wrote it, we put it together, and then we were going to shoot it.
We
made it. We made millions. It's in the theater right now. Go check it out. It's called what's it called? Tenet, I believe.
Yeah, right.
Wait, that's not true. Damn it.
So I will backtrack and say that a problem that Damien and I have is that we don't write scripts. We just kind of like explore it a day of, which that's just us. We that's always what we've done.
Yeah.
We're just trying to exercise properly, getting a script written, getting it all concrete, and like we're getting better at it, but
Yes.
most of the
And
time
it- we've learned and we know this. It doesn't always work, but the amount of times that it has worked without a script, it has been great.
Oh yeah.
However,
Right.
we did write a script for this one.
We did. So we were trying to do the right approach to this. We were going to take a couple of days to film it and kind of just do it as properly as we can.
And not only that, I remember, and I probably even said it to you, I was like, let's not write ourselves into like a corner.
Right.
Let's write ourselves within the bounds of what we have, what we know, what we can do.
Right.
So it's like, all right, well, let's don't write that the scene takes place in a fucking stadium because we
Right.
can't access a
Right.
goddamn stadium. So we did a lot of things like that, but yet somehow once we got the ball rolling, we noticed some restrictions in the process of the filmmaking. We
Right.
noticed issues here and there. We noticed things that we just couldn't get. And we noticed that we're definitely not as young as we were when we were making films, and we can burn out after shooting for fucking 8 hours in a day.
Well, that was a problem when it came to getting on. Okay, so now we get day one of shooting, let's say,
Yeah.
of 2, and we wasted an ungodly amount of hours. I guess 8 hours trying to figure out what to do, and it took so long to try to figure out how to start shooting because
It was like lining up the shot. It was like setting up to have the light in the background not blowing out the entire shot.
yeah,
It was determining which lenses would cooperate with us.
yeah,
Because the lenses I have, there's one thing that's on my to-do list to upgrade in terms of stuff for the camera.
right,
That's been a restriction that I definitely will be working on soon. But all these factors didn't come to light until we dropped it on the tripod and started rolling. On top of our talent, my
Oh,
lovely
boy.
brother,
yeah,
he had just been like he was we were getting geared up to do it, and then he was kind of quiet. It's like, what's up, kid? And I think pretty much the girl that he was talking to, or the girl that he was dating at the time, she like broke up with him via text. She went off like on the fucking tangent. I'm not gonna go dive too much into that.
But
it was for the fact of him being ready to like act
yeah.
and be geared and in it. It took him completely out, and he was not in it. So
So
he tried, and there were moments that like from because I've been trying to like cut it, or I tried to cut it for a while. There are moments like, wow, that was pretty good, and the rest not so much.
Also, let's keep in mind too that we had there
Oh yeah,
who was supposed to play.
She's made it big time now. She's gonna be like, oh, you guys mentioned me, and I got to help on your previous film. I'm out here.
So she had told me she's a neighbor of mine. I've known her since she was a baby. She's going to school now, studying film, and so we've not reconnected, but we've connected on that level of trying to get her on set and helping out and stuff. Sweet kid. She wanted to act. That was what she told me.
I forgot about that.
And I said, okay, sure. So we wrote a part that I figured would be a good fit for her. It was an easy part.
It was pretty much just an introductory part.
Yeah.
It was the secretary sort of leaning in the rest of the story into the rest of everything else.
Yeah. Super simple, maybe 8 lines tops.
Now, question.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking now. Did we have the script set to what we were going to do, and then we rewrote it again? Didn't we?
So
after we shot, or no?
No. So the script that we had on hand, was written, and her part was in there.
Okay.
We started adjusting it because she couldn't remember the lines.
Okay. I was just thinking because I vaguely remember the secretary stuff because I know we kind of went into it with a horror set mind,
right?
But then I guess we still sort of wrote in like some funny dialogue.
Yeah,
and it was supposed to be sort of like a funny back and forth, but it was going to build to darker, bloody show towards the end.
Yeah.
So come to think of it, our idea before it ended up on paper was a lot darker and a lot more scary and more horror bent and more like Evil Dead and stuff, as we mentioned. And then we put it to paper. We created characters for the overall plot. So it got like 3. This story has
it was a failure to launch. That's really
we changed it 3 times in the process,
right.
And even the stuff that's in my timeline on my Da Vinci, it's a whole nother beast of its own.
Basically, what ended up happening was, well, I shouldn't say her name. She couldn't remember her lines, so we decided, and we were burning.
Well, not only that, it was like she couldn't remember her lines, and she was kind of nervous about it. You could tell.
Yeah.
I get that because I was thinking it was like making me flashback to like the first time you and I filmed, and you're like,
yeah,
all right, Damien, you're gonna have to cry now.
Well, which is you should never do, but
well, not even that.
Tears,
it's like
tears,
all right,
tears.
Damien,
I need more tears.
Just pretend to have a conversation with this bear, and I'm like, what do I say? I don't know. Say something like if it was your girlfriend. Like, but so being put on the spot, it kind of like it leaves you sort of your brain literally goes empty. It's like that when they say to meditate and like keep your mind empty.
Yeah,
and it's so hard to do that sometimes when you're meditating. But the new thing should be, all right, improv something for me. Your mind will go blank instantly. So that should be the new way to meditate.
Sure.
So,
well, it wasn't. It wasn't happening that time.
Point being made. That's essentially what happened to her, and
she froze.
She froze, and then we were trying to like tell her to do an accent, which is funny because that was pretty much her accent already.
We were just trying to heighten the accent.
We were trying to over emphasize it and what haves, and she was just like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, guys. And we weren't mad. We were just like,
no. We could tell she was getting flustered, so we were like, just take the pressure off of her. Like, I didn't want her getting all in her head about it, so we decided to change it up, and I ended up playing the secretary,
which is a rare occurrence where Tom jumps back onto the ropes of acting.
I hate it. I don't like it. But in this situation, in order to get something in, I had to do what I had to do.
Yep, got to do what you got to do. Poker faces,
yeah. So we quote unquote shot as much as we could, and then the next time we met up, which was the following week, we filmed the remaining half of the film, which, mind you, ended up being 2 ideas meshed into one.
It had changed from point A or day 1 to day 2, and you forgot. Oh, well, I guess we're building to that anyway. But day 2's shoot, we lost half of because I deleted it because this is another issue we were dealing with the new camera. Everything, it came pretty well equipped with a lot of things.
Yeah.
But the only thing we had to use for it were little mini SD cards that were not mini SD cards, but SD cards in general with space. So the way the file format that we were using, we're filling up the cards so quickly
Yeah.
that I was like frantically trying to make space and save space and have space for the next day of the shoot, and I ended up deleting a whole fucking day's worth of our shoot. And
I don't remember that.
I do. I was so distraught.
Which part?
That took my motivation away when we were shooting that day.
So when
It was all the initial shots we did. So actually, I take that back. It wasn't day 2 shoot that I deleted. We had day 1 stuff.
Yeah.
And I dumped that.
Right.
And then we shot the rest at my brother's house.
Right.
That was all day 1. But I had dumped before that. When we went back to shoot for day 2, we were only supposed to finish the conversation shots, aka like act 2.5, 3 in the film.
Uh-huh.
But I went to go look at the card, and I had deleted before I had dropped, because I assumed it dropped, and I might have hit cancel on my computer when it dropped. So
Got it.
So we
I
lost.
don't remember that, to be honest, but
So one of the things, I guess to maybe jog your memory, is we filmed that shot where it's like the turn where Kedron walks from his bedroom to the door.
yeah.
We had to reshoot all that.
Brief.
Yeah.
It's foggy.
I mean,
and
granted-
I do remember. Maybe it's coming.
Back
The
to
funny
what
thing
I
about
said
that
before.
shoot. Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. Back to what I said before is when we shot those scenes, that was like the tail end of the day. That was when we
Yeah.
were all starting to feel like we were already feeling
yeah.
it at my house.
Oh yeah.
But by the time we got back to Kedron's, we were kind of burnt out. We were trying to go. It worked for Kedron's character because he
No,
looked sleepy, but
Kedron's house stuff was shot on a separate day. We didn't do that the same day.
it was initially.
No, remember when we were by your house doing that stuff?
Uh-huh.
We were there until like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and then we left. I dropped them both home,
Oh, right. So what the fuck?
and
am I
then Lewis was there. Alessia didn't come,
That's right. Lewis was there.
so
That's okay.
right.
So that.
So it was a separate day. It was the following week.
So the what the technical day 2 was our day 3 for the shoot. I guess.
I guess.
If that may.
yeah, I guess.
I'm saying it like how we're counting votes right now in the election. Day 2 plus 9 plus.
Oh, I think it was just
-3.
day 2. But if that's how you remember
Right.
day 2, day 3, whatever it was, when we were at Ked's house, I'll keep it at that.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Well, we got to Ked's house, and I felt that because day 1 went so terribly, I figured maybe we would have had more motivation because we were just rusty, and day 2 was just as rough, and
Yeah.
that just
And
became
also another reprisal of you acting. We're like, fuck it. We'll scrap the whole
yeah,
horror thing. We'll make it like a sort of grief-esque story.
yeah,
And the demon's there to take his soul and blah, 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 blah. And then it just kind of didn't flow out as we wanted. There's some good stuff in it, and there's some good dialogue, monologue, I would say, actually.
well, right, because your brother loved the kid, but he's not. I mean, none of us are actors, but
No, he's not an actor, and that was.
But he didn't
was
like. There was
noted.
no give and take in a sense.
I think
of-
that's the thing. Like you say you don't really like acting, and you're not an actor, but you have decent improv skills. Like you could pull stuff out of a conversation.
Mhm.
So you could say something away. Like we do that here and there in
Oh,
the
yeah.
podcast, obviously, or we do it for the paid commercials that we have.
Right. Yeah. Thank you to our sponsor.
Thanks, our sponsor, Shills. But it's hard when you're trying to have a back and forth with somebody, and the back and forth is either met with you being cut off,
yeah.
the response being defensive, or the response being non-existent.
Right.
And in order to demonstrate a conversation in a film, you need a back and forth. So I brought it, like I was trying to save this movie so hard. Like I edited, I walked away from it for a month. I edited it a little bit more. I finally took the time to put it all in a timeline so it was one coherent piece. And then I watched it. I'm kind of just like, it doesn't give me anything.
Yeah.
Let me show it to Tom. Let me see what he thinks. And then you pointed out the fact it's like, it just seems like a one-sided conversation. If you could pull more of a conversation into it, maybe it's salvageable. And I'm like, I thought about it for like 2 days. I'm like, I could try to do that, but I don't have any of that conversation. So,
Mind you said you got the camera in June. We did that pretty soon. I think if anything, we did it in June or we shot in July. Whatever it was.
I think so. This predates. This does predate Detective Stewart, right? Or did we?
Yeah,
do
this
the
was way
Unclosed?
before Detective Stewart came
Okay.
into any sort of our brains. But
I think that's when we folded and we're like, fuck it, let's just go back to comedy.
yeah, and
I mean, at least what we determined. As
well, we
comedy.
determined as comedy, right?
He thinks this is real shit. Fucking dumbass.
So we had a hard time, I felt, shooting the second day. Oh, this is what I was gonna say. So I gotta commend you for this particular project in general, because I gave up on it
Yeah.
after we filmed the second day. I was like, all right, I knew that in my head.
And I sent you over the shittiest rough cut. It was just literally just the beginning of it on the timeline and the rest, and I just left the giant 17-minute improv dialogue on the end, and you just watched just throw it in the trash.
I hated
Like you're
it.
just saying that because you're the initial
No.
actor, later actor, and then I realized no, you're right. It's not.
No,
That good.
I just there's just it was a good exercise to try to get back into the rhythm of things and what have you. But like I said, I commend you for the fact that you really tried. You really did try to salvage this, because I know
Yeah.
you. There's one thing I'd always known about you that you always do. It's something that you always hate. Is you hate discarding projects
Yes,
that we
of
already
course.
filmed.
And I know I've gotten upset like when you accidentally discarded a project that we've done. And I'm just
Which
like,
one was that? The one with was that the one when the wives take over?
Which one?
Remember that when the wives take over, and you get killed when the wife goes, "Come into the garage." I gotta
Oh
show you
yes, that's the
something."
one.
That was by
I think
actually
I'll
that
go
was
in the
by
garage.
accident. That was done.
No, I know.
That was by accident.
It was like but it reminds me now. Like I always delete stuff after the fact.
yeah.
So when I deleted the day 2 of the shoot that we did, I felt the same way. I'm like, fuck, what are we gonna do? But then I realized with the shots that we needed, it was just more time consuming as opposed to like, oh, we lost some great fucking shots.
Yeah. Well, which other ones have we discarded in the past?
I
know from if I know
there are some that we've uploaded nonetheless that should have been discarded.
which ones.
Well, the one with the one with Richard and you
Oh,
and myself,
God.
the roomie.
Yeah.
It was another one we watched, and it was just like there's something there, but it's not really there. And Kedron loves it. Kedron still finds it, like he'll watch it and crack up every fucking time. But
Maybe because he's just closely associated with the people that.
yeah,
are in
like
it,
it's
yeah.
my other cousin, it's myself, and it's you, and it's us looking fucking young. So
Yeah.
we did discard. What was the one that we discarded?
Well, we discarded No Tip.
We discarded No Tip, and then we discarded we did it again where this is where it backfired on us. We showed up to Keds and we were ready to shoot just something short.
Yeah.
We had no idea. We sat for probably like an hour going, what do we shoot? We started shooting like confessional
Yeah.
booth type
Yeah.
things, and then it turned into like a dating service.
Yeah.
And then that one just nothing happened.
Couple up. Yeah.
But I think I tried to get Kedron to edit it just to get him some practice, and he's like, yeah, I didn't do anything with it. And then I gave up on it myself. So there's another one. It seemed like it had a good idea. Like the middle would have been funny, but we had no beginning or end. So it was just like, what can you do with it?
And this one will add to the pile.
But
But
which is fine.
But the RIP pile is really not that. It's very minimal.
No, and
for over 10 plus years of all the things we've ever done, there's maybe like 4 or 5 we've ever discarded.
Agreed. And I was gonna say too, like just from listening to the podcast, we could revisit it. We could redo it. We could make it better. We could make it stronger, faster. We have the power.
Well, I mean, so that brings me to where we are today. So yes, Devil and I is gone and forgotten, but in doing so, we've discovered Detective Stewart, which has 4 episodes in.
I was able to break in the camera. I was able to get to use it a little more and understand the feed. I mean, that was a dual effort. I remember both of us staring at that screen like we were like, how the fuck? Wait, how did you get rid of that thing? How do you get it back? And we did a lot of stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, you just flip the screen. Now you do that. Oh no, you just click on that. You change this. So it gave us a lot of like foundation details on how to fucking use this camera correctly. So,
yeah, I mean,
correctly.
and Detective Stewart has not only allowed us to use the camera and learn the black magic, but also it's allowed us to experiment with, as you already said, with green screen stuff.
Yeah.
And as for those who haven't seen it yet or have seen it, episode 1 and 2 doesn't really have any sort of green screen things at all. But episode 3 and 4 especially is all experimenting with just all the green screen shit.
It's not experimenting. It's real stuff.
Get the fuck out of here.
You left.
Get the fuck out. Get out.
We'll be right back.
What's so fucking funny? Get him the fuck out of here. Oh, we're gonna get new locks on this door. Why the fuck did he get back in here?
He's a detective. He knows his way around.
Yeah.
You don't give him enough credit.
Looking over my shoulder, making sure he doesn't fucking
He's
walk.
purging
back
like a bird.
in.
Pigeons are here, pigeon.
That's all I gotta say. He'll run. I'll say our next interview is with the pigeon.
What?
And he'll just dip. So we got this covered. We can get him the fuck out of here. So back to.
I was just saying,
laying the devil and I to rest.
Yeah, laying that to rest, and then we did, and then we learned special effects here, and then now we are experimenting with After Effects. So we are now in you're very generous to say beta stage. We're in the very pre-alpha stage.
We are the pre-beta stages of using After Effects.
Yeah.
But I mean, just from what you told me, you've got me hyped to like try it just to
The possibilities are
and I mean, there's
super
like
endless.
six gazillion videos on YouTube that'll give you a guide, but that's like I was explaining the metaphor earlier of it's like the iceberg picture where you see the tiny bit of iceberg above the water, but then there's this giant whole piece that's below it.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole essence of the iceberg, not the little tip that pops up above the water.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at. We're that little tip above the water.
Oh,
if even we're not even.
I don't even think we got to the iceberg yet.
Yeah, we're the Titanic driving.
We just sailed. So.
Hey, what's that?
Well, hopefully in the next coming podcast, we'll be talking about the newest episode of Detective Stewart, and hopefully the special effects are really fucking top notch. Because one thing in After Effects that I'm really excited about is all these ideas we have for what to do for the next episode. Because we have to close out the season, and
I honestly think I don't think we should be working with him anymore. I think he needs help.
You got a lot of animosity towards Detective Stewart, and I think
I'm trying to dial back the animosity, but I like seriously, I think that man needs help, and I don't think.
Oh, for sure.
I think we're enabling him when we let him not pay us and film his shit.
Well, I should have told you this before you went on. He's actually right here. He wanted to come back and say a couple of things.
You're kidding, right?
I am not. Here he is. Hi, Detective Stewart.
Do you want to finish the episode with him? Because I'll fucking go home. I don't give a shit.
No. I don't.
It's fine.
I don't at all.
You seem like you just want to talk to him, and I don't. I'm like.
We'll be
I'm
right
at a loss
back.
for words. I don't even understand what.
You ever notice your grass is always brown?
Yes, I do.
You ever figure out how to fix that?
I usually clean up the shit that's there that makes it brown, but I don't know.
Boy, that's brown because you don't put enough water and chemicals in it.
I'm going to try that.
Well, come on down to Grass Bass over here on Route 65. Get everything you need. Get that grass going nice and green.
Okay, I'll be there.
Remember, on Tuesdays is half-day seeds. Bring your hottest bitch, get the biggest seeds.
I knew who you were this whole time. Why did you come back? I told you I was gonna kill you, because I'm the man that kills the other man.
Sally, did you make pancakes?
Psh, shut your mouth. I have to kill this man, because I am the man that kills the other man.
Tonight at 9.
There's your captain speaking. We are landing on the moon. Yes, we are landing on the moon. You heard correctly.
All right, everybody. Just sit back, relax. Gravity will do its part. Let us land right and nice and soft. On your left is a Martian.
Whoa. I'm in space.
How do we get here?
I don't know, man.
Is that a Martian?
I think it's a Martian, man.
It's a pregnant Xenoborg. Tomorrow at 7, Space Borg.
Whoa. What is that thing?
It sounds like a tippy-toey Martian.
Yeah, but why does it look like that?
Oh, God! We lost 15 volts off the back-end bird batteries.
I don't even know what that means, but that sounds serious.
A colossal failure brings 2 astronauts to an uninhibited planet.
Tonight at 8:30 p.m.
Space Forgers.
2.
All right, and we're back. We're done. I'm done.
Oh, we have one more plug before I forget. There's a new album out. It's called D&T, right?
DN. Oh,
Yeah, D&T.
I don't think it was called that, but I think it needs to be called that now.
D&T and
D&T.
it's there's a hot single out right now called.
I mean, honestly, I don't even think. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about
I like what you did there. Like what you did there.
it. Yes.
Yeah, so it's D&T's new hot single. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
It's been bumping in all the clubs. It's been causing a lot of pregnancies.
And I think rather than giving you a nice good night and good luck, we'll close this podcast out on that song.
I hope you enjoy. Don't worry
Or
about
don't.
it.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Yo, Jamal, did you hear about my kid the other day?
yeah,
Yo, he lost his tooth.
yeah.
Let me ask you a question. When you were a kid and you lost your tooth, how much did the tooth fairy give you?
Like $1.50, yeah.
Yeah, man, it is not the same nowadays. It is not the same.
Yeah.
Man, you're bugging. Sit back and let me tell you a story.
Yeah. Kid lost his teeth.
Cried about it.
Don't worry about it.
Pout about it.
Said don't worry about it.
Pat his head.
Off to bed.
He fast asleep.
He flying by.
Swooping in.
Catch a ride.
She grabbed his tooth.
She stuck some in.
I tap her wings.
She grabs my dick.
She pulls me in. Whispers softly, let's begin.
Glitter burst.
Everywhere.
Grab her head.
By the hair.
I said hurts.
Oops, I'm sorry.
What's that noise?
That kid's mama
Should we stop?
is what she asked.
I looked at her,
Then I asked.
smiling back.
She grabs my chest.
I push her down.
Ain't time to rest.
Pants go down.
Yeah, I know the rest.
But I'ma tell you anyway. Cry about it. Don't worry about it. Pout about it. Don't worry about it. Pat his head. Off to bed. At 3 a.m. his father's getting fucking head.
3 a.m.
Slip and slurp.
At 4 a.m.
Slip and slurp. Yeah, that's right.
We went all night.
4 hours in.
It's morning time.
She's panicking.
Hurry up, coming quick.
Mom's awake. I tuck my dick. 3, 2, 1. Cry about it. Don't worry about it. Pout about it. Don't worry about it. Pat his head. Off to bed. At 3 a.m. his father's getting fucking head. Cry about it. Don't worry about it. Pout about it. Don't worry about it. Pat his head. Off to bed. At 3 a.m. his father's getting fucking head.
Face.